Talking with the Experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name is Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and you can find me on YouTube and SoundCloud. And today my guest is Regine Muradian, and Regine is from the US, and she is actually a doctor, and her topic today is mental health tips for business owners. And Dr. Regine is a licensed clinical psychologist, author, speaker, consultant, and mental health advocate. In her clinical practice, she works with children, adolescents, adults, and couples who present with a wide range of emotional, behavioural, and adjustment problems such as depression, anxiety, relationship issues, executive functioning, and ADHD. She guides her clients to achieve inner peace, first in order to discover where the conflict or stressor originates from. Good morning, and from Australia. I know it's nighttime at your end, and welcome.
Thank you, Rose, so much for having me. Such a pleasure to be here with you.
So tell me a little bit more about your business and how you actually service your clients.
Yeah, so I'm a psychologist. I work with children, adolescents, young adults, with a wide variety of stressors and issues and conflicts. Anxiety is my main specialty. I also work with various business owners and people from all walks of life, dealing with certain challenges. And I also authored, it's one of the positive things of 2020, my new book, Frankie and the Worry Bees.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's available on Amazon. And it really teaches, the message really is to teach kids from a young age how to communicate their mental health, how to communicate their emotions. Because I think that not only kids, but I think also adults feel so lonely in that process. They feel that it's only them struggling with something, when in reality, you turn around and you just say, oh, wait, she's feeling that, he's feeling that. There's so many people in the room who maybe feel what I feel. So Frankie kind of helps normalize it and kind of create that conversation. So one of my passions, during 2020 became a children's author. It wasn't planned. So I just want to also inspire a lot of business owners into really thinking outside the box. What else are you really good at? What are you creative at? I have a lot of my colleagues, who are psychologists or just, various business owners and import experts, and they're musicians and they're creative and they've taken on a new instrument. So that has really helped with their self-care. Because I always ask, what are you doing right now? You have all this time on your hands with your self-care. So a lot of them have just become super creative and thinking about new ways.
Yeah, I know 2020 has been a challenge for many people. I would say probably the whole world, but business owners, I think, would be the main body of people that have been challenged, because a lot of them have lost their positions. They've actually lost their businesses because there's been, no one to pay for their services. So, self-care for them would be of paramount importance. And depression would be setting in. I know, for myself, I have an online business, so it didn't affect me so much. But for those who have a bricks and mortar business, it would be very challenging for them. So what advice would you have for the ones that have brick and mortar businesses to deal with the challenges of this year, and hopefully, moving into next year and things will be better?
It's such a great question, because I think also a lot of the people who have lost businesses, or there's a decrease in business due to COVID because they just couldn't stay open or attract more clientele or contracts, it's been really hard on them. And I think there's, I always call it DABDA. There's this grieving process: denial for D, A for anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And you may go through these phases. But I think what's really important, and I've been advising people and just really guiding them through this process, is what can you do? What are you loving to do that you can take this opportunity? I know how hard it is. I think it's important to validate and sit with those feelings. It's okay. And to say, hey, I'm sad today and I'm depressed and I just I'm grieving that loss, but really inspiring people to think, okay, I know this is awful, but I don't want you to sit in that space. Let's think creatively. What can you do? I mean, I know a lot of people just like that who have lost their businesses or a decrease in income and who started an e-commerce business or who realized that, wait a minute, I have a talent in doing this or that, and I'm going to just sell some products on Amazon. It's something I've always wanted to do. Let me do it. So just really helping them become creative. I really believe that if you are a business owner and COVID has hit you hard, that tells me you are creative because you created that business. That means you have the internal stamina and motivation. So try to step back and think about, after you've allowed yourself to process those feelings, and even seeking support, I think can be helpful. And thinking about what is it that I really would like to do or I could do. So that could also be helpful.
Yeah, I think seeking support is really, really important. Don't if you're feeling down, talk to a healthcare provider or family, friends. Don't bottle it up inside, because ultimately it will, cause more harm than it will do good, because sometimes you just can't deal with the depression, and you just need that little bit of help from outside.
Yes. I like that you bring that up too, because a lot of times, even for people who are feeling depressed, it can be very hard to just reach out because of the shame. And I don't want to share my information. I don't want to share how I feel with a stranger or with someone I don't know. But it can be very powerful because it is confidential and it is a special space. It's different than talking to a friend or to a family member who now knows you and who can be biased. So just having that space, I think, to just talk and process, like I was saying, I think it's important, even through writing. I'm a big advocate of journaling your thoughts down. I know that some people have a hard time with that, but I really encourage you to every night just, jot down a feeling. I'm feeling overwhelmed today. And why am I feeling overwhelmed? Or whatever it is, that emotion, because even writing it down, if you can't talk to someone, allows you to just let out those emotions that you bottled up. And that is really important, to not let that fester and grow.
Yeah, it's like living in the moment, really, isn't it? You're writing down exactly what you're feeling in that particular moment, and then you can go back in a few months' time and you can, sort of analyze and you can think about, well, this was my trigger for this particular situation. So if this happens at another time, I can deal with it a lot better.
Yes, absolutely. That's important. That's part of the mindfulness, self-care. There's incredible apps that I find so helpful. There's so many, such as Headspace, UCLA Mindful, and you can do these mindfulness exercises, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, take it slow, but be consistent with it. And it's all about teaching you to be in the moment. Before COVID, do you remember when we were hustling and bustling and driving everywhere? And I mean, especially here in the US, driving everywhere, we never really took that space and time to us, imagine. So now, being at home, reflect on the things that you are able to do. Maybe it is that you're spending more time with your kids or a loved one, or you have more time to de-stress. What is it that you can reflect on? I say, write down the top 3 things that 2020 brought you that are positive, because it's so hard to stay stuck in the negative. And that's the whole premise of my book. It's teaching us to get out of the negative thinking. Let's jot it down. Let's talk about it. But let's think about what the positive message is also.
Yeah, I'm a great believer in gratitude. If you live in gratitude, you live in happiness. Even just the smallest thing, a bee on a flower, or, just a cloud going by or whatever, be grateful for just the tiniest little things. And it brings me joy, but others, I guess they don't sort of believe in that same ethos. But I think that living in gratitude is a great way to start, and step back and think about what can I be grateful for today. Because you think, well, really, I'm alive. I have food on my table. I have clothes on my back. I have people around me that love me. That's something to be grateful for. And even if your business has gone down the gurgler, maybe the business really wasn't meant for you in the first place. Maybe the universe is saying to you, well, it wasn't for you. It was, find something else. As you say, be creative, use your creativity and find something else.
Yes, absolutely. I like that mindset so much, because it's pushing you into a different direction. This reminds me of when people get laid off, and I've, worked with people like that too. And when they get laid off, they just can't think outside the box. They get so stuck in the rejection, or it didn't work out, or I was feeling depressed, I couldn't do it anymore. So whatever it is that you're feeling, it is, pre-COVID, it's the same sentiment. So it's about getting off the couch. Okay, I've mourned. It's okay to mourn. It's okay to grieve. Feel the feeling. I think that's where people don't feel enough at times. And say, okay, I'm going to get up now and let me really think, because I can't stay in this space. And what does the universe have for me? What am I good at? And just really shifting your mindset and manifesting the good things that were meant for you, because your mind was so busy with so many things before, you couldn't even think of what you really loved. I can't tell you enough, even with business owners, how many times I even ask them, did you really love what you were doing? Do you love that? Yes or no? It's like a couple's relationship. Do you want to work on this? I know you're here, but do you want to make this work? If they say no, I can't help. If they say yes, we want to work it, great. So it's the same analogy with business owners, is really stepping back and saying, well, if you really love this so much, how can you be more creative now? Like the bricks and mortars, for example. Is there another way to do business? Is there another way to gain support? How are we shifting that business model? And I've had to do it too on Zoom. I mean, you have an office sitting there, you're paying rent in an office building for the past almost a year. But it's really about, how do we shift the way we do business and we think?
Yeah, I know a lot of people here in Australia, speakers who in my other business, part of when I'm not podcasting, who are in my avatar. And, I know a lot of them, the calendars just dried up, and, they just didn't think outside the square. And then all of a sudden, they had to become online speakers. And for a lot of them, it was a different kettle of fish, because they were actually just talking to a camera, and they didn't know whether people were actually listening to them or anything like that. So I take my hat off to a lot of the tech companies who've helped through the process of this. I mean, with Zoom, you're allowed to have more participants on a call now, and you can have rooms, and you can have this and that and other things, and it's wonderful that that they've taken the initiative, I guess, to help business owners move on and get through this. And yes, you're right. Bricks and mortar businesses, I mean, it's not someone like selling hardware or whatever, something like that can really pivot. No, I so hate that word, but it's just stuck in my brain, But it's not like they can move on and go online. I mean, I suppose they could do online ads, but it's a bit more difficult for them. But speakers can do it, and doctors and consultants and so forth can do it online. So yes, as you say, it's being creative, moving outside the box, thinking outside the square, and just being grateful for what you have and looking for opportunities.
Yes, and really hoping that we are going to get out of this momentum. We're going to it's going to be different, but we will eventually survive this. We will thrive even stronger, and I think that's what's important to keep in mind, that things don't stay the same. And I think people are in this pandemonia really because there's this panic, based on the environment around us. I know you're in Australia, and I'm just curious how it's there, because here, even though COVID is very serious, and it's created this fear in the sense where, for business owners, in terms of how do we kind of manipulate the situation or change things around, even when we do go back. There's a lot of talk also about what is going to happen to business, just companies. I'm just looking at your background. It just reminds me of that. Are we going to be able to work in this kind of workspace? And it's going to change. And so we have to adapt. But I think we are, as humans, we are very adaptable. We can adapt to all different kinds of changes. And right now, really take this opportunity. I go back to self-care, to doing one good thing for yourself each day. I like the gratitude, absolutely, being just reminding yourself of something you're grateful for, and also with your self-care. That could be walking. That could be anything that has to do with your own mind, body, spirit. That could be yoga. That could be anything. I mean, you have to kind of find what you like, whether it's hiking, and really be consistent and implement that in your daily schedule. And hoping, and just, I think when you feel better in terms of your self-care, your mind just opens up, your creative juices start flowing. And I think under panic, you kind of sit back and say, wow, I need to think outside the box. I need to do something else.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for the fear factor with COVID. I do believe that fear has been propagated by others, that we should be fearful of the virus. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, but I think it's been made bigger than it is. And it's made a lot of people, business owners especially, be more fearful of their environments. But mindset really is important. You need to have a great mindset to move past that. And when you have mental health issues like depression or PTSD or bipolar or any of those more serious issues, it is hard to have a positive mindset. And so what would be your advice for people that have those more serious mental health issues, not just the ones that have lost their position or their business or whatever, but they're actually suffering from a properly diagnosed mental illness?
Yes, and I think people who are really the clinically diagnosed are having we're kind of I'm seeing a shift. I'll tell you this, I hear a lot of things such as this is not a big difference for them, because a lot of people have been home already. They've been living in this type of environment, but now the house is busier. So for a lot of people even suffering with depression, I think it's more of a sense, it's not really the life has changed for them, because maybe they weren't working. And if they were working, looking at the negative side for them, when they were working, that was a way for them to get out of the house. That was a way to kind of keep their spirits up. So you have that category, and then you have people who weren't working and just still suffering with depression. Now the pandemic hit, and they're not as impacted, right? So I think the impact for them in terms of depression, it's more of the fear. So fear creates anxiety, creates a lack of control. And depression is sometimes you feel like you don't have control, because you're feeling withdrawn, you're feeling hopeless, you may feel a lack of energy, you don't really want to connect with anyone, you just want to be like under your covers and just stay there. So what I found really helpful is, I'm a big advocate in writing and journaling. And I mean, this is literally how my book was birthed, because I had to find a new way to connect this way on Zoom. So that was my creative piece. And I found that writing, which I was using even before in my practice, but I'm using it even more now in charts, etc. For people who have depression, them being able to take the pen on paper and jotting down 3 positive thoughts each day. And I always say, you may not believe in those thoughts. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to believe it. Don't be afraid of that. Just jot it down and repeat those every day. And I think it's the repetition of positivity. And that could be anything. It could be like this. I'm going to have a great day today. Yes, I'm home. I'm not really going to get ready. But you know what? I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to put some clothes on. I'm not going to stay in my PJs all day. It's just them trying to shift something new. And then, or even making a list of things that you want to do. Maybe it's a list of movies and you have it taped on your wall so that when you are feeling down, you could just go, okay, I'm going to choose that. It could be anything, a list of activities, people that you can call who you trust. That could be helpful too. I think that you seeing that list kind of created already is very easy to tap into when you're feeling down, because you don't have to think about it. When you're in that episode, you just don't want to think about anything. So it just helps you as a reminder.
Yeah, that's really great advice. I think we could all take a leaf out of that book, even if we're not suffering from depression. I think writing 3 positive things down every day can, make us all feel better regardless. So I guess, where can people find you, Regine?
Yes, so I am, my website is www.regine, R-E-G-I-N-E, Muradian, Muradian.com. I have my book on there as well. And I always laugh at this because I feel like not just the kids are enjoying the book. I also have the adults that were able to use a lot of the strategies and the little cute activities I have in there. And also on Instagram, it's a little bit complicated, but it's, if you just put Dr. Regine Muradian, you'll find me. And yes, those are the 2 primary links. And I'm on LinkedIn as well and Twitter.
Perfect. And so, do you want to just show us your book again, and we'll have a look, give it another plug. Go on.
Yes, thank you. So, okay, let's see if I can.
Oh, perfect. Yes. All right. That looks really. I love the little drawing on the front. It's lovely. So cute.
And I have a next one coming. So I wrote 3 books this year, and I decided to make with Frank. I know. I just went into the writing. The ideas came, and I said I can't stop. I'm out of freeze now. I said 3 is good for this upcoming year, and it's Frankie and his homeschool adventures. And the next one, which is really helpful for parents, it's all about change and how do we accept change. And I think it's so timely right now because change is important in our life. And, we need to learn how to be chameleons, because we change schools, we change jobs, we change environments and friendships in our lifetime, and we have to learn how to adapt. And then the third one is Frankie and his special talents. And it's all about showcasing uniqueness. So we talked about that a little bit today. And how are you unique, and what is your talent?
Excellent. Well, look forward to that, and I'm sure they'll be on Amazon very soon. Have you got any wise words before you leave?
Yes. So my message for today is don't give up. No matter how down you feel, don't give up. Failure is a measure of success. If you fail, that's not a failure. To me, failure is when we just give up and we just don't do anything about it. Failure is a lesson. It's a lesson of strength, and it makes you be better next time. You got rejected. That's okay. You get up, you try again, and you try again, and you keep on moving. And I feel that if we can try as a society and a community and just teach everyone around us to just stay in that space, the sky's the limit and what you can achieve.
Perfect. Yes, I'm a great believer that failure there's no one that fails. It's a lesson. It's a lesson that, as you say, it leads to success when you just keep trying.
Yes.
All right, Regine, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your company on Talking with the Experts. If you'd like to follow any of my channels, you can find them on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, PodBean, Anchor, and of course on YouTube. Sponsorship places are now available, and if you'd like to be a sponsor for Talking with the Experts, then you can contact me and I will be happy to share with you further details. I look forward to your company again. Bye for now.